Hey, this is Adam Torres, and I'm here to tell you that it has never been easier to start your very own podcast. At Mission Matters, our goal is to amplify stories that matter. That means we want to help you start your podcast because your story matters. We can do this in 3 different ways. 1, join our podcast school and take a free or paid course. 2, visit our resources page where we've already figured out what you need, such as where to host your podcast. Or 3, heck, we can even do everything for you through our podcast agency, including editing for cheaper than you can do in-house. Oh, and no contracts, services month to month. Get started by heading over to missionmatters.com and click on Start a Podcast. All right, now let's get into the show. Hey, I'd like to welcome you to another episode of the Mission Matters Money Podcast, your source for all things money. My name is Adam Torres. You can follow me on Instagram at AskAdamTorres. Keep up with my book releases, book tour schedule, signings, all that other good stuff. Always love to connect with you there. And as always, if you'd like to apply to become a co-author of one of my upcoming books, just head on over to the website, missionmatters.com, and click on Become an Author to apply. All right, today I have Matt Teifke on the line. He's a partner over at Longhorn Construction and Development, powered by Tree. Matt, welcome to the show.
Thanks, man. I'm glad to be here. Appreciate it.
All right, Matt. So I'm excited to get into today's topic. We're going to talk about the business of renovations. I mean, I know that's what you specialize in, and there's a lot of people listening, some who've been through the renovation process, some that haven't but are considering it. So I want to get some of your insight as an insider on what that looks like. But before we do that, just give us a little bit more of a background on what you're doing over at Longhorn Construction and Development, powered by Tree.
Yeah, man. Quick background. It's a business that's been around for about 10 years. It's just recently changed to the Powered by Tree. That's where I kind of got brought on to the team. I brought another guy, Sam. So it used to be run by one guy, doing it for 10 years, kind of running the show. Really, really good quality, great work. I ran into him being a real estate investor here in Austin, and I bought a house from him, and he just did an amazing job. Then over the last 6 months to a year, I started giving this guy leads because it was the first time I found a contractor that I really liked and that I trusted and felt confident sending a referral his way and that he would take care of these clients. So what happened was we ended up literally combining 3 different forces to create Powered by Tree. So it's Longhorn Construction Development Powered by Tree. And now we're all literally within the last 2 months, we've got this rolling, but it's tied into a business that's been around 10 years. So really just getting started in some ways, making a lot of changes and implementing things, but we strongly believe that we have the right people on the team to really go build a huge business. And, man, we just feel very blessed because I keep telling people I think we might be here in Austin, Texas, in one of the best markets in the world because it's just jobs and growth every day. And so we're just trying to keep our head down and do things the right way.
Man, that's awesome. What a great story. I love to hear that when entrepreneurs come together with a common shared vision and everybody plays their role, has their part, has their expertise, and the greater the sum of them all is better than everybody working a solo. So, man, I love this story. I know you mentioned Austin. I just want to make sure, for the audience listening, what areas are you working in?
So, Austin, Texas, kind of Central Texas, all the surrounding cities. You got Round Rock, Georgetown, Cedar Park, Leander, Hutto. It's all kind of Austin MSA. And that's where we're really focused. And I actually grew up in Round Rock and totally agree with you, man. I think the concept of finding the right people, dividing and conquering can be a really, really good way to set yourself up for success. But really just all over the Austin MSA.
Fantastic. So let's get into, and I like your background, obviously being in real estate prior, and it's interesting to me that you said, you weren't always comfortable referring to other maybe contractors or other people because you don't know what's going to happen, right? And you're putting your name on the line when you do a referral. So for you to take that leap of faith and to do this partnership, I mean, it says a lot just to the work and the testament to what's being done over there. So that being said, the business of renovations, I mean, let's talk a little bit more about that. So what have you found so far in your experience with this, like that whole process can look like, and I mean, what should it look like?
Yeah, I mean, I've seen both sides, and back to what you said, I stopped referring people a long time ago for construction because I got burned, and it's just hard to, you could get somebody that does great work for you, and you pass it on, and then they do the opposite for someone else, and it's a really, really tricky business. So that was the key is like, obviously what I said earlier, finding the right person. But I've seen the negatives of trusting people and just, turning the project over. And then I've seen the positives of doing the same and turning it over and it being great. And it can just go every which way. So it really is the people. You have to have the attention to detail. There's so many unknowns and things that can pop up with construction. And, sometimes like we maybe dig into something that's new that we found, and like maybe we'll split the cost with the owner. So that's why it's so important for the right people. But we try to get in there and just communicate like crazy. We'll get in there, when investors have properties under contract, when they've already closed, and we'll help kind of brainstorm with them, because this is really, our crew, not necessarily me. I'm kind of lead the charge on the sales and the growth, but my team will really go in and brainstorm, hey, maybe we should look at doing it this way or that way, and have a collaboration. And really the key is like at least what I've found is you want to feel like you're working with someone that's going to take care of you, and you want to know that you're not getting ripped off, like they're just charging a crazy price. Mm-hmm. A lot of people get away with that and are doing that in Austin, and they do great work. But because it's hard to find the people that do great work, they're like, hey, this is my price. And they're take it or leave it. And then there's kind of this little niche where there's not a lot of people, in my opinion, doing like really, really good quality and charging a pretty fair rate, because Austin's a pretty small market at the end of the day, and people really are jacking rates up like crazy, and they're getting away with it. So, the whole process is like working together, explaining how it's going to work, and then just communicating throughout the entire process. Like that's our number one thing is owners, people that are doing, new builds or renovations or big projects, they get a little antsy and concerned when they feel like things aren't happening. And, our goal is to always kind of let them know what's going on so they never have that feeling. And then, like I said, we charge them a good price. I mean, we're typically 20-25% profit on any job. So, $100,000 remodel, we maybe make $20,000 profit, but it took us 3-4 months and a lot of time and effort. And I feel like that's a very fair way to go about it. And we're just trying to really grow because we just see the huge potential in this market.
So I know you mentioned investors. Do you work with a lot of out-of-state investors, or tell us a little bit more about what that looks like, because I know Austin is a hot market and a lot of people looking at it.
Yeah, absolutely. So, we do. We absolutely do. We just had a guy that bought 4 properties. He's from California. We helped him buy the properties. And we not any kind of major renovations. It was about $10,000 to $15,000 per property, but we went and did all that work on all the 4 properties. Then we're also leasing them and managing them. So we have a lot of things going on and a lot of different partners, and we want to be like full scale to be able to really, even if we're not going to get the business. I've taken this approach for the last 9. I've been in the real estate business for 10 years, but I've taken this value add approach for the last 5-6 years, like very intensely. And I'm just like, hey, even if you're not going to work with me, like I want to be a resource in Austin, Texas. If you need something, I want to help out. I want to connect you and really play the long game and, do this for 20, 30 years and just try and do it the right way. And we see, and we believe that that's the way to really build a big business.
Man, that's awesome. I couldn't agree with you more, and I love when somebody has that mindset, and also I love when you think about the way you're positioning your business. So meaning to have the management side and to have the other real estate side, because I think that's what kills a lot of entrepreneurs sometimes, is just not having those other things. Obviously it's a hot market now, but maybe one day it's not. But then you still have the management side, and maybe the renovation side's a hot market. I mean, these things all change, right? It's a real estate cycle. So the cool thing about that, though, is that especially for the people that are developing these relationships with you and your team, is that you're going to be around. Like, you're going to stick around. You're not going to go bust necessarily in the next, big thing that happens, because you have some stable businesses and different lines that you're working on. So I think it's great for them. And then you have a long-term vision and a long-term goal for the company. So, man, I'm excited about what you're doing out there.
Thanks, man. I appreciate it. And just to back up just real quick, we manage about 750 single-family homes. We have 13 full-time people on the team doing that. And that was the first thing I did. I told you I've been doing it for 10 years. As soon as I got my broker's license, I started a management company that my wife was running, and the whole concept was exactly what you're saying. Is like, in some ways, property management is, like the trash man in the business world. Like, those guys actually can make pretty good money. Nobody wants to do that job.
It's hard. It's hard, man. It's hard. It's not for the faint of heart. It's hard dealing with people and working with people. I mean, people are great, but you always catch them at the right time on property management. That's all I'm gonna say.
It is so hard. I'm telling you, it's all negative. Because it's a thankless job. You only hear the negative stuff. 1% of the people can cause 99% of the problems. And my wife my wife's the head property manager there. She's amazing, man, because I would get on there and take things personal and get into the drama. She just lets them stay their peace, and even no matter how frustrated they are, and then deal with the issue, and it just works out. Like, people sometimes just gotta get that out there. So it's crazy, man. But yeah, we built a good company with it, and ideally that's what helps us have the staying power, and that's what I always talk about. If you can have staying power in real estate, you're going to do very well, because there's so many opportunities all over. And you just got to be in the game and looking for those and be able to capitalize when you see them. But it takes time.
Man, that's exciting. So, Matt, that being said, it's been awesome talking to you today. If somebody's listening to this and they want more information and they want to connect with you on talking about the Austin market, whether they want to learn about Longhorn Construction development or the management side, or it sounds to me like you're just the go-to guy when it comes to anything real estate in Austin. If they want to connect with you, what's the best way to do that, you and your team?
Yeah, man, easy to get a hold of. I'm on Facebook. Matt Teifke at gmail.com is my email. Teifke Real Estate is my website. I'm really easy to get a hold of it. And yes, I would love to be that real estate resource here in Austin. I try to keep my ear to the ground, and wholesalers and all kinds of stuff, man. So happy to provide value and be a resource. And I definitely appreciate you having the time and doing the podcast. I know it's a ton of work. So congratulations to you on all that.
Oh, man, appreciate that, Matt. And to the audience, as always, thank you for tuning in. Hope you got a lot of value out of this. If you did, don't forget to subscribe to the podcast, leave me a review on the Apple iTunes Store, and if you're watching this on our YouTube channel, Mission Matters Money, definitely give us a subscribe there, but also leave us some comments in the video. Let us know what kind of projects and things that you're working on. And, Matt, thanks again for coming on the show. It's been a pleasure.
Yes, sir. Thank you.